Let's go to YouTube. It's a quest of faith and prophecy. And oh man, today, man. Um, so basically, in the news, there's been a lot of self hate. Um, there's been a lot of self hate um, against Asians, against Asian Americans. Now, obviously, in my lifetime, I've had maybe six friends that was half Asian. One was one was Korean. One was half Korean, half Asian. But you know, like to be honest with you, I don't know how this came about. For the simple fact that you know, like we can we can voice our opinions on self hate, right? Like we can say, well, the Trayvon Martin, or the guy who got killed while the guy was on his neck, you know, like there's no justice, you know. Like I think the Asians are like the least people who could care about that, you know. Like like it's always on us, and it's always about us. Sometimes, you know. Like if a white cop kills a black guy, it's wrong. Like what made that cop kill that black guy? You know, again, cops have power. Cops, when they have that uniform on, they feel like they cannot be touched. They can't be touched. But again, we've seen a lot of cops lose their lives. Um, Not too long ago, I think a cop got killed in Colorado. You know, so it's a dangerous job. But someone has to get these people off the streets, and some people have to stop these crimes that's being committed, because we living in a cesspool environment right now. We have kids that's 10, 13 that could get access to guns and knives and stuff like that. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. Like stuff back then was very low key solidified. It was like back in the day, it was like low key, like you can't get that unless you ask your parents for permission. Now these days, a 13-year-old can get their hands on a gun, can get their hands on a knife. You know what I'm saying? But we hating Asian Americans because of what? Now, for me, I don't really know how this came about, but if I had to put my finger on it, I guess it had to do something with the COVID, because obviously we all knew that the COVID started over there. Apparently some guy attracted it from a bat, if I'm not mistaken, and then it traveled all the way from here. That's the only logical answer I got, reasonable answer I got. Because I can't think of any other reason why they would hate them. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of Chinese restaurants closed down. And I used to eat a lot of Chinese food back when I was in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like 5 blocks down where I live. So I mean, I used to get shrimp fried rice, and the ones in the little containers. You know, um, but I used to eat Chinese food almost like every Saturday, Sunday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? But now I stopped eating it because I mean too much of everything is not good for you. You know, and I was kind of skeptical because I didn't like my mom was keep telling me that, oh, don't eat Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? Like you never know, you might get COVID and stuff like that. So a lot of people, not even me, a lot of people stopped eating Chinese food. When the COVID hit. You know, but now things are seemingly are like things are going. Things are kind of going down a little bit. It's not fully returned to capacity where everybody gets to travel and they don't have to wear a mask. Like, now they're getting a lot of vaccines and stuff. And then they said that once you get the vaccine, you might have a few symptoms, lightheaded, dizziness, stuff like that. And, I'm not sure a lot. I don't know. I don't know how many people died from that vaccine. To be honest with you, or I don't know if the news or I don't know if the news is covering it. But I did my research, and almost 4 people died from that vaccine shot. You know, loss of breath. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like your whole body gets numb. And then, a lot of people don't want to take it, even though they know they don't have COVID. They still wear a mask. But even if you do still wear a mask, you're still going to contract it. You know what I'm saying? Because touching and, all this other stuff, unless you wear gloves and stuff. But, I mean, that's even bad because if you can, if you, like, say for instance, you use gloves, right? So whatever you do with those gloves for the day, you have to take them off and buy and put on new ones. Same thing with the mask. If you out all day, you wear the mask, you come home, you're not gonna reuse that mask. You're gonna have to throw that one out and probably put on a new one. So you're just gonna keep recycling the same, you know, method. But I mean, this just gotta stop, man. Like for real. Like Asians. One thing about Asians is that they're very well respected people. You know, they're not one of those. Like they don't carry themselves like, oh, look at me, I'm fancy, I'm this and that. Like they don't carry themselves like black people do. White people is the same thing. Like you don't see white people flashing or try to compete with other people. That's just not their mo. But black people, boy, y'all something else. Y'all will compete to the death against other black folks. If I have a nice car, oh snap, I'm gonna have to have a nice car. If I have a nice girlfriend, oh, I'm gonna have to. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to outdo each other, and I don't know why. That shit's been happening since I was in the ghetto. Like that shit just fucking like why? Like why are you competing? Like just appreciate and be happy for the other person. You don't have to compete. Especially with jewelry. If I have a jewelry, oh, I'm gonna have to get a nice jewelry. Like, no, you don't. Like, just be happy, man. Like, for real. And then on top of that, Asians make what? Sneakers, animation, um, you know, sneakers, animation, and video games. So if they wanted to, they could just take all their shit and just, okay, y'all hate us? Okay. But anyways, it's already trademarked by the US. So there's really nothing they can do. You know what I'm saying? Or they could just stop making video games. What if they do that? What if they do that? What if they say, you know what? We don't have to make video games if we don't want to. Like y'all can suffer for the next 5 years without video game consoles. Y'all gonna be playing the same Xbox One, PlayStation 5 for the next 5 years. Or for the next or probably a year. They won't probably because they don't have to. They can make them. They don't have to have the USA permission, but they do it because they're partnerships with them. You know what I'm saying? And America already owes China like a whole bunch of money and shit. So I mean, I just don't know, man. I just don't know why they feel the need to disrespect Asians. I'm pretty sure it has to do something with the COVID. It has to do something with COVID. Like I remember when Kim and Donald Trump was kind of at war, but they really wasn't, and they quickly squashed that beef. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was a beef, but I think you know I think they both backed out last minute. But this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like why America is hating on Asians. Like, is it because of the virus? Like, we all know that we can't necessarily do the things that we want to do, you know? Like, they're slowly bringing businesses back up. They're slowly, letting fans back in, events and stuff, whether it's football, basketball. Obviously, I'm guessing there's going to be fan attendance at WrestleMania. So they're slowly opening up, but slowly, But as more vaccines are shipping out, and people are getting cured for it, you know what I'm saying. There are also a lot of people that's dying from it as well, So I just think that all this bull crap just has to stop, you know. Just has to stop. That's why when a black person dies from a cop, I don't necessarily feel anything because we've been as a black community, we've been the center of attention for so long. Like, if it was an Asian man that got killed by a white cop, nobody would notice. Nobody would have, you know, like it would have not made the headlines that big. If it was a white person on white person, same thing. But since it's a black person on white, we all have to gather up and say Black Lives Matter and all this bull crap, and because protesting is not really going to do anything. What do you get out of protesting? Like, you have a picket fence that says Black Lives Matter and you carrying in torches. Like, like, do we live in the medieval times or some shit? Like, stuff like that is not going to happen because you know what? Trayvon Martin, obviously he was born February 3rd, you know what I'm saying? So he's, obviously Aquarius, but, what I'm saying? Like, when he got shot, a lot of people, it took the world by storm, and I don't want violence on anybody, especially a kid that young, what he was like 17. So, but, I like, there's gonna be a lot. Like, he's not gonna be the only person, like, I could be victim. Your mom can be a victim. Your grandpa can be victim. Your uncle can be victim. Anybody can be victim. So just because this happens doesn't mean it's gonna stop. The cycle is always gonna continue, you know? That's why I always say just study yourself, Not study, but steady yourself. Like, when you see a cop, just relax, chill, Just, greet them as they will greet you. That's all I say. You don't have to, have a catching attitude. You don't have to do this because you're going to give the cop every reason to look at you suspicious, you know? And the one trick about cops is notice how every time they get out the car, like they touch your car, you know why they do that? Is because in case anything happens to them, whether they get shot or anything else, they already put a tracking device on your car. So if they don't hear back from him, they're gonna run your license up because he already gave them all the information. Because usually when cops get out the car, they'll say, give me your license or registration, and they'll look you up to see if you have any felonies or missed payments or whatever have you. So they already got the whole shebang from you. So if they don't hear from that cop, that's why the cops, like I said, every time a cop comes out, watch them in your rear view mirror. You'll always see them touch your car. They'll do it in a slick way. They'll like just do a little quick pat, just like that. That is to notify that if anything happens to them, they'll know where to find you. Just saying, my friend's uncle, he was a cop, and he basically told us the rundown about how the secrets of a cop is. You know what I'm saying? Or what the secrets of a cop being is. So I just think that, self-hating is stupid. You're not gonna get anywhere with that, especially with Asians, because Asians has been nothing but nice to us. You know, like They could just close all their shops down, and we'll never see any Chinese food again. You know what I'm saying? Because they eat all the good stuff, and that's another thing. You know, because when I what was this? I think last Saturday I was at a Chinese restaurant, and then in the back you could see them eating like rice, and their rice was different from our rice. So we're eating the American version of Chinese food, while they're eating like their homemade Chinese food. So stuff like that, you always have to wonder, like, are we really eating Chinese food, or is it American Chinese food? You know what I'm saying? Because if you compare the American chicken to their Chinese chicken, totally different. Their rice is totally different from the rice that they give us. So yeah, man. So all I have to say is just stop the hate, man. Stop the hate. It's not bettering you. It's not bettering nobody. It's just making y'all look more dumb and stupid at the time. You know. What y'all gonna hate on Indians next? Y'all gonna hate on Asia on Native American next? Like, just stop, man. Like, y'all, it makes no sense whatsoever. What's done is done. Y'all can't go back in time and fix it. You know, and if y'all could, y'all probably fuck up history as well too. You know, but that's just my take on Asians. Self hate. You know, like, comment, subscribe. And till next time, take care of yourself and each other. And thank gosh nobody is killed between these stuff, because usually when stuff like that escalates, you'll start to see a lot of, people start killing one another, or they'll look at Asians the wrong way and stuff like that. Like, I've been watching the news, and you would see that they would get into altercation every time they see Asian, or if Americans look at Asians walking down the road, they'll like give them that look, and then they'll just go by or just say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back where you came from. You know what I'm saying? This and that. So hope nothing bad happens from this. But you never know with Americans. So I mean, it is what it is. Like, if I was me, I moved to China a long time ago. I I swear, I would have moved to China a long time ago. Get me a freaking Asian wife, you know what I'm saying? And just, settle down, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other. The video will be in the description box down below, because I gotta go to work at around 5. So, yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.